Hello again, everybody, and welcome to the Francesa podcast, part of the Bet Rivers Network. We come to you on this Halloween, and a happy and very safe Halloween to everybody. And safe is the word that you underline. Okay, if you're driving, be careful. There's kids out there. Okay, a lot of them. So be very careful, and just feel like somebody might be right around the corner. And the kids are always dodging in and out and running and showing everybody what they just got at the last house. So just be careful. We don't need any tragedies on Halloween. I've never been a big dog, and I shared this. Neither of us loved Halloween. I've never loved Halloween. I don't like costumes. I never liked costume parties. I never liked getting into I mean, it's just not me. I just don't like it. I'm not a horror person. I don't like ghoul. I don't go to haunted houses. I don't watch bloody movies. I've never seen. You think of the biggest chop movies or the biggest haunted house movies or whatever. I've never seen it. I don't watch haunted movies. Okay. I don't watch bloody movies. I watch historical movies. I watch boy meets girl, boy loses girl, boy gets girl back, good triumphs over evil. That's me. I don't like gore. Okay. So it's not my big event, but I do get a kick at little kids coming to the house, which they do in our neighborhood until it gets dark. So from like 3, and their parents are at the end of the driveway, so they run across the grass, and you know we got all the leaves off the grass today because we had some storm yesterday, so we had to clean up the lawn and everything, so everything is nice and neat for the kids. And they run across the lawn or across the driveway, and they run back and forth like little, like little gremlins, everything, but it's fun. And they're all about, you know you get some 12-year-olds, 13-year-olds, but you're getting mostly 6 and 7-year-olds and a little 4-year-old. It's fun. That goes on for about 3 hours today. Okay. Now, this is about the Breeders' Cup. Okay. I want to give you one word of caution. If you're someone who follows me religiously on the picks on the Triple Crown, and especially the Derby, and you've hit a bunch of races in a row, and some of them for big prices, and I can't wait to get the picks, be careful. I am really good on the Triple Crown. I am great on the Derby. I'll be the first to admit. I am not good on the Breeders' Cup, and I am really not good on the Breeders' Cup when it's in California. I have a couple of problems. First of all, I hate California racing, so I don't like their horses. Secondly, I never like integrating the European horses who have great ability. Great ability. I mean, remember the race a couple of years back when Casa Creed ran his heart out, and he ran as good a race as he ever ran in his life, and he was a great racehorse. And he lost by a neck and a neck to the male champion and the female champion from Europe. And it was those two, and then Casa on the wire, inside a length of 3 of them. And Casa gave everything he could. Everything. He never ran a better race. The European horses are wonderful. They're well trained. The trainers over there, they have incredible operations in Europe, and especially Ireland. They have a lot of money. There's a lot of wealth. There's great trainers. So, but I don't know how to integrate. I don't get to watch their races, or I don't go out of the way to watch their races. And I don't know how to place them inside the race. So, and a lot of times they're better than the field. A lot of times when they come to Saratoga, if you get them on a hot day, they don't perform. You get them on the right time when it's climatized, and they get the right weather in California, they roll. There's times they don't roll at all because it's too hot, or the track comes up not to their liking. But when they're on, they're tough. So that's made it very tough for me from that standpoint. Now, I want to put a critical word in on the Breeders' Cup because I really think they screwed up royally. Part of it's unlucky because they were looking at, and I mentioned this on the program about a month ago, they were looking at the best classic and one of the great races I can remember in the last 20 years. But that race contains Sovereignty, who would have been the favorite in this race, and I believe would have won this race because Sovereignty was going to use this race, and he was training brilliantly all fall at Saratoga for Belmont. But when I heard the other day, and it was Mons who told me, he sent me a message, Sovereignty has a fever. So I made a phone call. Obviously, I used the Mont Bond. So Sovereignty had a fever. When I heard he had a fever, they said they make a decision tomorrow. I said, no chance. I know how Belmont thinks. I've learned that the horse comes first. And he knew, as the brilliant trainer he is, that his horse had to be 100% to beat this field and to beat older horses. Beating older horses is not easy. It does not happen often. This horse was good enough and had become tactical enough. He did not have to sit back and wait. He could get into the race earlier. He had been doing that. And if you could look at his Travers, he was eased to the wire. He won the Travers by 10, and he was eased to the wire. This horse was becoming a great horse. He is a great horse. A lot of people won't think he is off his body of work. They'll think it's significant, but not great. He'll be worth a fortune at stud, but obviously he's owned by the Mocktoon, so he doesn't need any money. That's not an issue. But the Mocktoon puts the horse first. When the trainer says the horse doesn't go, the horse doesn't go. They don't say, race my horse. No, they say the horse goes first. Plus, this horse is worth a fortune at stud. So he's out of the race. But how can you have the classic, the race that is the culmination of the day, the buildup, and have it, and then have 3 Breeders' Cup races after it? I don't care that they're not on NBC. I don't care that NBC will go off the air after that. The bottom line is, it's just wrong. You could have put these races, one of them on Friday, and then started your Breeders' Cup races earlier on Saturday, so that this race was the culmination of the day, the drama, the crowd, the excitement, the whole thing. Just a very good race. You have very good horses, very accomplished horses in this race. 2 very good 3-year-olds, Journalism, Baeza, who have not been able to beat Sovereignty, but no one else has either. You have Sierra Leone, who has had a terrific career and has gotten better with age. And in his career, they paid $2.3 million for him at the sale. It's a lot of money. He's made almost 8 on the track already. If he wins this race, he'll have made another 6 or 7. Well, the first is 7, he gets 52%, so he'll make another 3.8 million. He's 13 for 13 in his career. 13 races, 5 wins, 5 seconds, 3 thirds. Never off the board. Never doesn't give an effort. Never isn't coming in the stretch. Once in a while, he doesn't run straight in the stretch. Last race, he lugged in. Is he beatable? Yes. Is he going to be coming in the stretch? Absolutely. It's a tricky race from a speed standpoint. You got the 2 Rapoli horses. You got Fierceness. You got Mindframe. Mindframe interests me a lot. I have 4 horses that interest me in the race. But first, let me give you Friday. I have a couple of races for you today. Just 2 picks. Nothing crazy. The 6th race, and the races will be on USA Network if you're looking for them later on this afternoon. They'll be in a couple other places. They'll be streamed on Peacock, but you can get them on USA Network if you're looking for them. I don't think they're on NBC till tomorrow. Juvenile Turf Sprint. I like a horse named Cy Fair. I like horses I've seen. I'm partial to horses I have seen. I'm partial to horses that run well in front of me in Saratoga. I admit that. Because I follow them very closely. I watch the races there very closely. Cy Fair has Ortiz, trained by Weaver, who does very well in these races. Last race. Now, are the Europeans a class above them? Maybe half a class. We don't know that. But what I like about this horse, this filly, running against males, which doesn't matter. Last race, she showed a real nice kick. And this race, I think, is crying for someone to close. I think she'll probably be the 3rd favorite. I think she'll probably be 6-7 to 1. She won't be an astronomical price. But that's my horse in the 6th race today, the Juvenile Turf Sprint. My horse is Sci-Fair. Now, in the juvenile today, which you always have to note, because the winner of this race is 2-year-old champion. The winner of this race is a Derby favorite. This horse is actually named after a person, but they changed the initials. So if everyone in racing knows it, the other people don't. The horse's name is Ted Naffy. Pletcher horse, Spendthrift Farm. This horse has been ultra impressive. I saw the horse run twice at Saratoga. When he ran the first time, I said he was unbeatable the second time. I wagered on him. I don't think he even paid even money. Maybe he did. I think I hit the exacta because I think McPeak's horse finished second, if I remember right. He's run 3 times, twice in New York, once in Kentucky. He's the favorite. Now, Baffert's got a speedball, and Baffert is very good at taking a horse that has shown great speed at 6 or 7 furlongs and stretching it out and winning it a mile and 16th. He's done it a million times. He is great with horses on the front end, and they have a habit of staying because he works his horses very hard. You always take Baffert seriously. You don't ever not look seriously at his horse and consider him a serious option because he wins too much, especially in California, but he wins everywhere. I respect his horse, but I think his horse is not a 2-turn horse. I think Ted Naffy will eat him up in the last furlong. I think the only horse that could be closing on Ted Naffy is McPeak's horse, which is let me get you his name. Black something. Oh, he scratched, huh? I didn't realize blackout time. He scratched. Okay, I didn't realize he had just scratched. Mons just told me. That's why I'm looking for him. I don't see him. Blackout time was the horse I liked for second. He scratched. So, okay, I don't know what went on there. I know Kenny thought the horse was really coming up to the race great, but you never know with these babies. You know, they get sniffles. They wake up with a cold. They wake, you know, just like your babies do. These horses wake up with fevers. They wake up sneezing. They wake up coughing, and then all of a sudden the race is off. So that it happens, especially with young horses. So Ted Naffy is my horse. Now, it's not going to get you rich, and obviously, I'm not even saying betting on him. If you want to put him in an exacta, there's not even that many horses in the race, to be honest with you. There's now 7. Oh, no, 6. There's 2 horses scratched. So there's actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 horses in the race. I think Ted Naffy wins the race. I think he goes into the Derby as the favorite next year, and he looks every inch a Derby horse. Every inch. I always look and see if I'm going to see my Derby horse at Saratoga. I don't expect to. But I think Ted Naffy's one of those horses. I think he just looks the part. Now, a lot goes into what happens between now and next February. How they develop. Some of them grow into, it's like you have a sophomore football player, then you have a junior football player, and all of a sudden the junior comes back and he looks like an All-America. The guy who got cut early in his career, like a Michael Jordan, comes back and he's the best player in the world. It happens. The same thing happens with young colts. They come back and they're different, and they change a lot over the winter. So that always has to be taken into account. Always. It's always a factor. And obviously, when you go into any fall campaign and you have a horse that you're pushing next year and planning next year for the Derby, I had one. We had one. Leon Sutherland and I had one, obviously in High Oak. And that shows you all the excitement of horse racing and all the heartbreak of horse racing. And you have to, if you're involved in it, you have to be ready for both. And you have to be able to endure both. You have to be gracious and humble when you get something good happen, and you have to handle the heartbreak because there's plenty of it. And we had plenty of it with High Oak, obviously. High Oak won his first race at Belmont, went up and won the Saratoga Special by 4.5 lengths. Okay, a race that has been won by the great horses, beating 2 future champions in the race. And then obviously as he was prepping for his 3-year-old campaign, the Fountain of Youth. We all flew down for the race, and as he was making a major move, the horse cut him off. He clipped heels, did a somersault, and didn't run again for a year, and has never won since. He has finished third in the Grade 1 stake, but he has never won again. So we had a horse that I'm gonna tell you, we wouldn't have taken the money. We turned down over $2.5 million for the horse in Saratoga after the Saratoga Special, but we would never sell him. We wanted to win a Derby. But the point is, we had a horse worth that kind of money, and the next year, he was on the shelf for a year. He's still in training. Love that horse, but he's never been the same horse. Sign up for the free Mike Francesa newsletter. You'll get exclusive content, contests, and offers. Go to MikeFrancesAPodcast.com and sign up now. And again, nothing doesn't cost you anything. It is absolutely free, and free is a very, very good bargain in anything. Now, so today, CY Fair in the 6th race. In the 9th race, Ted Nafi. I didn't realize we've had 2 scratches out of that race. So the field is now limited to 6. You're not going to get any price on them. So, but I'm just telling you, that's my 2 picks for today. I don't want to give you a lot of picks in races I'm not that sure about. And some of these turf races are very, very tough. I like one horse early today. Early on Saturday. Before I get back to the couple of picks I have, I like one horse, and in the sprint, I like the connections. I think the horse will run very well. In the race 5 tomorrow, the Breeders' Cup Turf Sprint, I like the one horse. Motorists, Motorious, Motorious from Great Britain, 7-2, post position 1. D'Amato has his horses ready. This horse has showed to be an exceptional sprinter. I think you'll probably get 4-1 on him. So I like him tomorrow. And D'Amato always brings his horses to big events ready to go. He really does. So I like that. Now, moving to the 7th race. I'm not giving you any. I'm going to give you a horse to take a flyer on at a price because I know the horse and it's a good price and I think fits the race. Now, the horse has not been running her best. Okay. But I think she could run maybe at a big price. Again, just take a flyer. I'm not on this horse because it's a horse I know. 7th race tomorrow. And the number is 4. Okay. Bilmont trains Scylla, Scylla, 15-1 morning line. Could get a good price, 15-1, 18-1, something like that. So a good price. Throw a couple of bucks out there. I think Scylla could run well. Take a flyer. Now, to the Classic. Obviously, the race has changed without Sovereignty, who I believe was not only the best horse in the race, but was going to stamp himself as a great horse with an effort tomorrow. I think his Travis, was just effortless. And everything I heard was how well they were bringing the horse up to the race. The horse had won the Derby, the Belmont, the Jim Dandy, the Travers. Remember, skip the Preakness. We know the whole deal. Mott doesn't believe in running horses back that quickly. He wins the Derby. He wins the Belmont. He wins the Jim Dandy, which is the prep for the Travers. He wins the Travers going away by 10 lengths, eased down the stretch. Eased down the stretch. Okay. Now, there weren't great horses behind him. Baeza had said, get out of here. I'm not going near him. Journalism said, see you later. We'll see you in the Classic. They're back in the Classic. They were dancing the dances. But one thing Baeza and Sovereignty learned, where they could, I mean, Baeza and journalism learned is they couldn't beat Sovereignty. They were always taking a back seat. They were running for second. That's just the way it was. Now, in this race, a big key. Sierra Leone is going to be coming late. Journalism, I believe, is going to be coming with Sierra Leone. I think that's the race they want to run. Maybe he's a little in front of him, but not much. I don't think he's going to be. I think he's going to make a big move. Now, on the front end, you have some dangerous horses here. These are all accomplished horses. Everyone in this race, the only two horses in this race that don't really belong are contrary thinking in Nevada Beach. I think they're a cut below, and I don't think they belong. Okay, one's 50 to 1, and the other one's 20 to 1. I don't think they belong. Other than that, Forever Young, we've seen him before from Japan, dangerous horse. He'll run his race. I don't think it's good enough. Sierra Leone, we know what he does. Now, who's going to set the pace in this race? Fierceness. We know what Fierceness can do. Mindframe, who's got a lot of talent. Remember, last race, lost his rider. Before that, he ran a race that I think is a very good race to zero in on here. Ran the Stephen Foster at 1 mile and an eighth, Churchill. Broke, sat second, took the lead, held off Sierra Leone, won the race in impressive fashion. Okay. I was very impressed by the race. He stalked, he circled, and he held, and he won. He's a dangerous horse here. So is Antiquarian, because Antiquarian's last race, the Jockey Gold Club, sat inside, edged up, got a good trip, no question, okay? And edged clear in the race. Now, in that race, Sierra Leone lugged in. Is that something we should worry about? Maybe a little. The one thing you know about Sierra Leone, he's going to dance every dance. So, but Sierra Leone is going to be a heavy favorite. I'm going to figure him. I have 4 horses I'm looking at in this race. I'm looking at Antiquarian, but he's the least of the horses I'm looking at. I like Mindframe, and my long shot is Baeza. I've been waiting for Baeza to explode. He can go to the front. He could sit tight to the front. He could sit in the middle of the pack and make a big move. The horse has got, I think, superb talent. I think we have waited to see his best race. Now, his last race, he ran the Pennsylvania Derby. Obviously, he's going to win that. He wanted going away whenever he wanted. I think he's ready to run. He's trained by a very smart man in John Sheriffs. I think he's ready to run his race. I think he's frustrated them. Now, listen, he's had a good career. I mean, the horses, 2 firsts, 3 seconds, and 2/3 out of 8 races, and has banked $1.5 million. Is born in the wrong year. Sovereignty is dominated. But this horse is extremely gifted. So I could see Mindframe with the lead, turning for home. I can see Baeza being the threat that is coming now to make the race, and then I can see Sierra Leone making the big move. And those are my 3 horses. And I'm going to use them in some combinations, but I've seen Baeza hang one too many times. So I'm going to pick it this way. Mindframe first, Poli's horse. I'm going to pick it Baeza second, and the always solid Sierra Leone third. That's my. So I'm going with Mindframe because I like the way the Stephen F. Foster was run. He came off that race, and we don't have anything to go on because he lost the rider in his last race. All right. This horse is clearly a talented horse. He can win it different distances. He's 5 out of 8 lifetime. And remember, the last race you can't count because he lost the rider in the Jockey Gold Cup. Right out of the gate, lost the rider. So the bottom line is, I think Mindframe is sitting on a big race. Mindframe, Baeza, and Sierra Leone. That's my classic. And take a flyer on Siller in the 7th at a big price. And I gave you Notorious as the horse in the sprint. That'll probably be 4-1. And then today I gave you Sci-Fair in the 6th and Ted Nafi as the horse that will establish himself as the Derby favorite by winning the juvenile for Todd Pletcher. If you're a racing fan, you'll enjoy the racing. Racing needs to do a much better job promoting itself. It really does. It's a great game. It's a great game. It's an exciting game. It's a fun game. You now can get in and buy, small percentages of these horses and have a rooting interest and get yourself involved in the game. My racehorse has done that. I mean, they contacted Lee and I and to do stuff with them, but I said it's just not what we do. We have a small partnership, just he and I, and we stick to that. But they now have gone out and bought a lot of expensive horses. They keep half with one main owner, and then the other half they sell real dirt cheap to everybody for sell to a gazillion people, $500 a share kind of thing. But you're talking about big time horses. I mean, legitimately big time horses, and you have all different levels of this. This is the way the sport has gone. Has it driven the individual owner out of the sport? In some cases, yes. In a lot of cases, yes. Because it's become very expensive and very corporate. And there's a lot of syndicates, and the syndicates, once they start owning, just like owning stocks, once they start owning horses, they drive the price of horses up as the sales dramatically. A horse that we used to be able to buy for $125 now costs $300,000. That's what hurts buyers like us. It's really escalated incredibly. We paid $70,000 for High Oak. We paid $300,000 for Reynolds Channel. Same kind of buy, same kind of athlete, same kind of prospect. Good piece of horse, a very good horse prospect. Well bred, but not regally bred. And because if you want to buy into Mischief or a gun runner, it's going to cost you $1.5 million, $2 million. So you have to have partners. I mean, not going in there and write. Some people can, but most people can't go in and write a $2 million check for a horse. The bottom line is that's what it costs when you have a sport that's dominated by a couple. This sport is now dominated by a couple of sires into Mischief, Gun Runner, Curlin, go down the line. So those horses, when they come to the sale, as long as they're correct, they go for a fortune. If you get a cheap one, it's because there's something wrong with it. Now, that doesn't mean that one won't run sometimes. Sometimes they do, but sometimes they don't. And the game has gotten very expensive for the average owner. And that's why you're seeing the individual owner go away, which is sad because that's what the sport used to be about. Enjoy it. A very, very happy and safe Halloween, and we will talk to you Sunday after the Giant game.